3 years of this game, all finally coming to a head. It's no mystery that Battlefront 2 has had a very rocky life. From loot boxes, EA, glitches, the single player, but coming from a guy who's been a massive Battlefront gamer since the days of old, I'm not ashamed to say that Battlefront 2 has had probably the biggest turnaround I've seen in the past few years. DICE actually listened to their players. They fixed the bugs, included game modes that really made the game what it should have been at launch. But that's not what I'm talking about today. Today I'm talking about the final update DICE has just recently added to Battlefront 2, and how it was just disappointing. For those who don't follow the development team, the Scarif update was already delayed twice due to the coronavirus pandemic, causing the team to shift their work from their office to their homes instead. And I won't pretend this didn't have an effect on the final products, but if it was truly this lackluster in terms of quality, then it should have been pushed back to a further date to allow the team more time to make the update more robust. Let's just move on to my first problem with this update, the new customization. This already stems into another issue I had with the Celebrations Edition, on how you basically purchase the game again, only this time you get all the hero skins and all the classes skins. But the main point of Battlefront is to grind for these kind of things. I remember when the game first came out and people were complaining over the cost of Vader and how they wanted to give the player a sense of accomplishment along those lines. And in creating the Celebrations Edition, you basically taken out any incentive to grind for the skins. Because when I get the credits, once I get the skin, I feel like I've earned it. I feel like I've made, well, I wouldn't say made a difference. I'd say I'd made an actual accomplishment. I feel like I've earned that skin. I feel like I've actually done well. My problem with this update now is how they've basically included the First Order and Galactic Empire skins for the troops, but they've already made them available. There's no cost, there's no challenge to have them. It's just basically given the Shore Troopers and the Snow Troopers to us already on a platter. And the same can be said for some of the hero skins as well. So for example, Kylo Ren's newest skin and Rey's newest skin from Rise of Skywalker. You've given us no challenge or any sort of goal to set to get that skin. You've just given it to us and we just equip it. And it's not like it gives us any sort of tactical advantage, it's just there for cosmetics. Now moving on to my second issue is the hero skins themselves. Kylo Ren and Rey's newest ones, for example. They're just... You've given them a hood. You've only given them a freaking hood. Kylo Ren, you basically had the Rise of Skywalker skin you gave him, and just gave him a black hood over his head. Rey's newest skin from Rise of Skywalker, you've added a hood and you've just called it a new skin overall. It seems very lazy. The only skin I'm actually appreciating in this update is Darth Maul's. You know, he's got his robot legs, he's got his new lightsaber. He actually looks pretty damn awesome. Hell, a hood on him would have been a good inclusion. But no. I'll give Palpatine a pass on that, he does still look pretty menacing. Why would you make us do a challenge for the Resilient skin, even though the Rey Skywalker skin looked so much better? Why would you give us that for free, where you could have actually set a challenge for it instead? Like, why? My next problem with this is obviously the Age of Rebellion Supremacy gameplay. Now, for me, Supremacy has to be my favourite game mode, in this game overall, probably next to Galactic Assault. It's a constant tug of war between yourself and the enemy. You can win the ground stage, but if you lose during the ship phase, you go back to the ground phase and the enemy could just as well go back on your ship and you can just as well push them back. But what's happened now is it's completely gone out the window with Age of Rebellion. Now, for those who may not be aware, Supremacy is basically your team taking on the command post, trying to get the meter to 100%, you go on their ship and you blow it up, simple as. But with Age of Rebellion, they're just completely thrown out the window. They've just gone with, take the objectives, get it to 100%, and you're done. That's it, nothing else. Like I said before, the main focus is it can be a back and forth, so while the enemy team may be losing, they still have a chance to take it back and reclaim the battlefront. But with this one, it just feels like I'm playing like Galactic Assault mode. And that's another thing, the Supremacy maps all were unique to themselves. So you couldn't play the Galactic Assault map in Supremacy, and you couldn't play the Supremacy map in Galactic Assault. But with Age of Rebellion, they just taken Galactic Assault maps and just added them into Supremacy, and just included some command posts. That just seems it just seems like they were recycling stuff. To me, it seems DICE has taken the road in this final update as quantity over quality. In the Age of Republic and the Age of Resistance updates, they were each amazing. They each had their own unique mode, their own map, their own setting. It was all almost amazingly put together. But for Age of Rebellion, it just feels like they just get a bunch of old assets, recycled them together, and just include some command posts and called it a day. And it's not that they even changed it or put us in a new area. It's just the same maps from Galactic Assault, and the only difference being Scarif. But don't get me wrong, I will give it to DICE. They've made Scarif look beautiful, and the Scarif update back in the old Battlefront, that was just as amazing as well. But it worked because there was an actual flow to it. You would get through the shield on the outside, you would take the Death Star plans, and you would get back to the U-Wing. That was the flow. But with Supremacy, there is no flow. You just take the objectives. Well, now what? What do we do now? We're still stuck here. I wouldn't say there was a story flow, but there is still a flow to the gameplay in Age of Resistance and in Age of Republic, because you destroyed the ships, you've done your objective, but there's none in this one, and to me it's disappointing. Just remember, this is my opinion. I'm not too pleased with this update. I think it's rather lackluster in quality. I think they've just gone with including as many things as possible, but in doing so, they've sacrificed the quality that we come to expect, especially since Battlefront was making such a turnaround in the first place. They still truly capture the magic of Star Wars, and I have no problem jumping on for a few games or so after a day of editing and just having a nice time. But this update, I feel could have been better. But hey, I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. So like, comment, subscribe, and feel free to share this amongst your friends. And I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.